Hello and welcome to Olympus High School, located in Holiday, Utah. My name is Mark Schwartz, and alongside me is
Jackson Bodley.
And the Olympus Titans are about to face off with the Park City Miners in a Region 6 matchup. We will be your commentators this evening. Tonight is only the third matchup between these two schools. Olympus has dominated the series, winning by an average of 41 points. The Miners will be itching for a chance to get their first win over the Titans tonight. Let's jump right into our teams. Park City comes into tonight at a terrible 2-10 record. The Miners are led by guard, big man tandem Luke Verichok and Cutter Lapine. Senior center Verichok averages 12.1 points per game, while Lapine averages 11.2 points and 1.6 three-point makes per game at the point guard position. Park City comes into tonight desperately searching for their first win in region play. For the Olympus Titans, they come in tonight at 15-1 and the team to beat in Region 6 and 5A as a whole. They are led by three superstar players, Jack Wistersill, Dutch Dowdell, and Jordan Barnes. Wistersill is a returning 5A first-team All-State center that averages 20.8 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 1.4 blocks per game. Jack is arguably the best offensive big man in the state. For Dutch Dowdell, he is a sophomore shooter that leads the state in three-point makes. Dowdell averages 19.6 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 4.2 three-point makes per game. Dutch is not the only sophomore stud on this team, though. Meet Jordan Barnes. He averages a double-double with 13.7 points and 10.9 assists to go along with 3.3 steals per game. Barnes is undeniably the best passer in the state and is second in the nation for assists per game. With these three at the core of this Olympus team, the Titans are in a very good position to continue their undefeated region record tonight against the Miners. Jack, let's get to our keys to the game. What is important for each team tonight to do to win this basketball game?
We'll start with Olympus and offensively. Offensively, Olympus, you hit it. Their big three. Jordan Barnes coming off a huge game against Brighton. Dutch Dowdell, who's made the most three-pointers in the state. And in the middle, you got Jack Wistersill. Just an incredible offense all year. They've been playing incredible. They are really hard to stop. So here in this game, I don't really think there's one key thing you need to focus on offensively. If there is, it would be get Dutch Dowdell going. He scored under 10 in the last 2 games. Still averaging over 20 on the season, though. But overall, just an incredible offense. And they have the talent to pick up if one of their stars isn't playing.
And speaking of that Brighton game, let's look back at that game. The Titans started off well in a heated rivalry on Tuesday night at Brighton. The Bengals hung with the Titans, played really good defense in that first half, and the lead was only 7 at the half. That's the lowest halftime margin in region play for the Titans. But Olympus came out and dropped the hammer on the Bengals in the third quarter. They went on a 22-7 third quarter run, and their defense locked in, and they started hitting shots outside. With the lead secure, Olympus holds off the Bengals and won 68-42. A big win. That's the closest game I think the Titans have played so far in region. You could argue the Murray game was a little closer, but Titans dominated that game from the get-go.
And talking about that halftime lead, 7 points, that's a pretty good halftime lead. Well, with this Olympus team, that was a really close game at halftime. They're used to being up 20 points at halftime, and they're just incredible how 7 points at halftime is a close game for Olympus.
Let's go back to your keys to the game, Jack. Defensively, what does this team need to do?
Well, they've been great, this whole team's been great, only allowing 47.4 points defensively. Jordan Barnes, Luke Lowe getting tons of steals. And they're facing Park City, who has Cutter Lapine as their point guard. The good news is, Cutter Lapine's been great all year, averaging 12 points a game. The good news for Olympus is they can stop guards. They held Nash Matheson, one of the top scorers in the nation, to 13 points. Nash Matheson plays for Brighton. So they are definitely well equipped to stop the point guard and Cutter Lapine for Park City. And that's what I think you need to key on. Because if there's one player who can get this Park City offense going, it's their point guard, it's Cutter Lapine, and that's where I think they need to focus on a little bit right there. For Park City, well, offensively, they haven't been great. They have a couple scores averaging over 10 points, but outside of that, they have almost no production. So I think for their key here is keep those two players, Cutter Lapine and their center, Luke Verichok, getting their normal points, but you need to find some other production outside of those two. outside those two, they have no scores. And I just think that offensively, you need to key in on just getting others involved. Defensively, stopping this Olympus offense, I think the first thing you have to do is put your most high energy player, your best hustle player who will move around on Dutch Dowdell. And tell him to not give Dutch any space, especially off the catch. And hopefully you'll be able to stop him right there, because he's just so talented from shooting. He can step back 5 feet and still make it. And then the second thing I would do is I'd put your best wing defender. Your best wing defender, I'd put him right there up on Jordan Barnes. And I'd tell him just try and find that range where you can get good enough contest, but still not let him beat you on the drive, you know? It's a lot harder to send it down with a talented player, but I'll definitely have your best wing player on Jordan Barnes. Then with stopping Jack Wister still, I would bring help D every time he gets in the paint, because we've seen this year, one man on him hasn't really been enough. And so if you can bring that second player, just a little bit of help, you got to bet your money that you're going to force Olympus to shoot threes as opposed to layups with Jack Wister right over the top. So it's really just pick your poison with this team on what you're going to want to beat you with.
And speaking of this big three that you just talked about so eloquently, if region play has taught us anything, it's that it is impossible to stop all three. Let's look at the last 3 region games. They give us a great example. 2 weeks ago against East, Jack Wistersill, the star player, senior of this team, leader, was out with COVID-19, and sophomore Dutch Dowdell exploded for 33 points and 9 3-point makes. East had one of the big three removed for them and still couldn't stop them. Last week against Skyline, they keyed in heavily on Dutch Dowdell. They had to defend him at all times, heels on the 3-point line, following him all over the court, and Jack Wistersill and Jordan Barnes dominated. The point guard center combo combined for 47 total points, more than the entire Eagle team had combined. Wistersill had a dominant night on the boards with 9 rebounds, and Barnes showed off why he's the best passer in the state with 9 assists. Fast forward to 3 days ago when the Titans took on Brighton. Brighton, very good defense. Keyed in on Jack. Played really good defense on Dutch. And Jordan Barnes, they bet on him not being able to beat them by himself. And they got burned. Jordan Barnes explodes for 24 points and 6 3-point makes to secure the win. And because of these 3 dominant stars, it is nearly impossible to stop Olympus. Jack, is there anything you could even think of to try to stop these? I mean, you have to have a great team defense that can switch and double Jack. You have to have an elite perimeter defender that can hang with Dutch and stick with him. And you need a second elite perimeter defender to stick on Jordan Barnes. And I would argue there is no team in the state with all 3 of those requirements.
Well, I think Davis did a good job of that. So you need the talent, definitely. You need a really talented defense that can play straight up on all 3 of them. And if you don't have that, which Park City, let's be honest, they don't have the talent to play all 5 Olympus players straight up. So like I said before, you don't need your best wing defender on Dutch, but I'd put your best energy player and don't give him any space to shoot at all, especially off the catch. Just your most physical, your most energy player who can just run around, completely follow him, never let him get the ball. And that's what I'd put on Dutch. For Jordan Barnes, your best perimeter defender. Put the person who can keep him in front of him and has a good closeout, so he can close out if he tries to shoot over the top of him. The problem with Jordan Barnes, if you can stop his scoring, he's going to pass all over you and get the others involved. So I think just right there, that's how you're going to put your best perimeter defender on Jordan Barnes. Like I said, Jack Wistersill, unless you have a great paint defender or a great center, he's going to shoot right over you once he gets the ball inside.
And we saw against Murray, when we played Murray, Bowen Davies, arguably the best big defender in the state, that's for sure in 5A. Jack Wistersill went in there and dominated. So you have to double Jack.
Yeah, just when he gets inside, just bring the healthy, force him to shoot a tougher 3 than that layup.
Looking at this Olympus team, I mean, outside the big 3, you still have Anthony Olson. He's a D1 commit to go play football at Utah. And then you have Luke Lowe, who you put him on any other team in the state, and he's the #1 scoring option. He can light it up from outside. It is impossible to guard this team.
And not only that, they have Will Rich coming off the bench who can shoot, score.
You have Lucas McCain also coming off the bench. Just a very, very solid team, and they have been dominating region play. Speaking of how good this Olympus team is, let's look at where they sit among the top teams in the state. So on Tuesday, there were some shakeups. We talked about this on our latest OlyTV episode, but with Orem's 1-point loss to Timpview, Olympus is now the unquestioned leader of 5A.
Well, not according to the RPI, but probably to most humans.
RPI, yeah, okay. You go do your thing. We'll see you in the playoffs. But Olympus is the best team in 5A. I don't think anyone could contradict that. They've been dominating. They've been so good. Their only loss is a 3-point loss to Davis that came on a triple back-to-back at Davis. It was a weird game, and it was tough that we lost, but we did lose. But statewide, and that's where it gets a little hazy, because of that loss to Davis, you can't just say, well, Olympus is the best team in the state, because you've got Olympus, Davis, Bingham, Pleasant Grove, and Orem. I think Orem, you can stick down at that 5th spot. No need to, and they're out.
The one thing for Orem that I think is keeping them in the mix is that win over Brighton. I mean, not Brighton, Bingham. When Orem beat Bingham, one of the top teams in 6A, that's what helps their case a lot.
And it was a 15-point win. It was dominant. You cannot say that was a fluke win. A 15-point win over Bingham, great win. For the 4th spot, I think you put Pleasant Grove there. They have 3 losses, but they have played a very hard schedule and have some very good wins. At the 3rd spot, for 2nd and 3rd, you have Olympus and Davis. And when you look at these two teams, very close. Davis holds the head-to-head, and Olympus, though, has showed some style points. I mean, Davis only beat Weber by 4 points, and Olympus beat them by 40+. So Davis has been really shaky in region play, and Olympus has been very dominant.
But I think Olympus is the better overall team because in their common opponents, Olympus has looked way better. It's just Davis, I guess everything's just aligned for them, and it's a good matchup for them, so they won the head-to-head. But if you look at the overall team, common opponents and all that, I think Olympus' resume is a little bit better after all that.
And it's a little tough for Olympus because of how weak their region is, that Davis has some better wins than Olympus. Olympus, their best win is probably Fremont, where Davis has a win over Olympus and Pleasant Grove. So because Davis has better wins and owns the head-to-head, I think you have to put Olympus at 3 in the state and Davis at 2. Now, I think that'll change because Olympus will win out and win their region and have 1 loss going into the playoffs, and I think Davis will continue to struggle. So I think you'll see Olympus slide up into that 2 spot. At number 1, you put Bingham. They've looked great. Just, 2 losses on the season. Very good for them. Their 1 loss to Orem, that stings, but they have beat some really good 6A teams. And Bingham, I think, is pretty unarguably the top team in the state right now.
One thing I wish you could see is this Olympus team, if they run the table from here on out and finish 26-1, 5A state championships, kind of want to see how well they would have done if they played the 6A champion or some of those really good 6A teams. And we're going to lose some seniors after this year and just never really going to know how good they were and how well they would have done against those top 6A teams.
And I really just want to play Davis again. We want to get that monkey off our back. But Olympus, so dominant, such a great team. We are so grateful to be able to call their games. Let's look at our next storyline on the night, and that is Park City's defense. In region play, Park City has really struggled against high-scoring guards. In region play, Park City has allowed guards to average over 10 points a game to score an average 18.8 points per game. And some of that, is Chudiano Saiki just going off on them. But still, it's all around the board. The higher-scoring guards have big games against this Park City team. Olympus has 2 guards that average more than 10 points a game, and that's Jordan Barnes and Dutch Dowdell. Jordan Barnes, he's coming off his incredible night against Brighton. I would expect him to have another great night tonight. I think with Cutter Lapine most likely guarding him, though, I think he might be more a playmaker and a passer instead of a scorer tonight. But don't count him out. I could see him going off for 5 threes and 25 points again.
I think it's going to be Dutch Dowdell's night. It's going to be extra motivated after those two games he scored under 10 points. And I think Park City is going to be focused in on Jordan Barnes a little bit more, and he's going to show him why you can't forget about him at all.
Yeah, Dowdell, his first time all season where he scored under double figures in back-to-back games. Had 33 2 weeks ago against East, but I think people are kind of starting to forget how incredible Dutch Dowdell is. We saw him here against East. He is just a pure shooter. You cannot give him an inch of space on the perimeter. So keep an eye on that tonight. Will Dutch Dowdell finally break the three-point record tonight? We don't know. It's all up in the air, but one thing I promise you, Jordan Barnes and Dutch Dowdell, one of those two is going to have a big night tonight. Moving on to our next game storyline, Park City Skid. They have struggled. They started off the season well, winning their first 2 games, and in their 3rd game, they lost in overtime to a 4A Logan team, and since then, they've lost every single game. And in their last 10 games, their defense has been abysmal. 70.2 points per game allowed. That is terrible. They're looking to turn it around, but why is that going to be difficult, Jack?
Well, it's hard to turn around because if you want to get your offense going, it's really hard to sort of figure out how to get your offense working when you're always behind and your defense is always letting up baskets like that. And defensively, they're going to have a really, really hard time stopping Olympus tonight. And it's going to be hard to turn around because they have Olympus, Skyline, and Brighton as their next 3 games. And those are 3 pretty good teams in the region. And it's going to be really hard to win one of those games.
We'll step away quickly for our national anthem and starting lineups.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for tonight's Miners. Number 2, Cutter Lapine. Number 5, Kai Lockwood. Number 10, Dylan Wisner. Number 24, Sebastian Wolf. Number 32, Luke Verichov. The Miners are coached by Thomas Purcell. And now the starting lineup for your Olympus Titans of Olympus. Number 0, Anthony Olson. Number 2, Jordan Barnes. Number 3, Luke Lowe. Number 12, Dutch Dowdell. Number 15, Jack Worthington. Your Titans are coached by Matt Barnes.
Thank you to Coach Whitehead for our starting lineups. We'll give them to you again if you didn't hear. At guard for the Park City Miners, number 2, Cutter Lapine. Also starting, number 5, Kai Lockwood. Number 10, Dylan Wisner. And number 32, Luke Verichok. And Park City controls the tip. Wolf with it. Number 24, he's rounding out the Park City lineup. Verichok has it. High key. Hands out to Lapine. 6 points in their last game against East. Step back 2 on the way, knocks it down. His foot was on the line, so it'll just be a 2, but good offense out of the gate for the Park City Miners.
Yeah, it's great to knock down a tough shot in your first possession. Sort of gives you a little bit of confidence to go for the rest of the game if you hit your first one.
Dutch Dowdell with it. He's got Lockwood on him. Dumps down to Jack Wistersill. Kicks out Luke Lowe. Top of the key 3. No good. In and out. Tipped out. That'll be Park City basketball.
Like we mentioned, we need to bring help defense against Jack Wistersill. They did that there. I think the problem is almost every time you're going to get an open 3 for Olympus when you bring the help D. It's just so hard to stop them. You bring help D, they get an open 3.
A steal off the inbound. Wolf turns it over. Dutch Dowdell in the corner. 3 on the way. In and out for the state leading 3-point shooter. Jordan Barnes with it. Drives baseline, cut off, throws out to Wistersill. Back to Barnes, right wing, deep 3 on the way, no good. Didn't even get iron on that one. Wolf brings it down for the Miners. Throws corner. That's Lockwood with it. They dump inside to Verichok. Working on Wistersill. Goes inside, can't finish, and Wistersill snares the rebound over Wolf. Dowdell in transition, goes up, blocked! Kai Lockwood sends it back.
I thought Park City was in trouble. They were driving down, looked like Dutch had a shot. What a great recovery, and what a block.
Olsen kicks out to Wistersill. They leave him open, 3 on the way, knock it down, big man. 3 points on the board for Jack Wistersill.
There's just any small little miscommunication defense. You try and switch mid-play just like that, and they'll shoot it right in between that.
And the other thing that makes this Titan team so dangerous is that both bigs, Anthony Olsen and Jack Wistersill, can step out and shoot.
Yeah, you can't really do that. A lot of times you see them switch when there's a center out there or do something to help them out. But right there with Olympus, anyone can shoot, so you have to worry about everyone.
3-2 our score. Verichok with it. Hands over to Lockwood. He's got Wistersill on him. Dumps down to Verichok. Olsen switched on him. Loses the ball, and we've got a foul on Anthony Olsen. And on that one, Olsen had great positioning. Looked like he went straight up. Verichok just went right into his body and got the call.
I like having how Park City, they give it to Verichok inside, sort of towards the middle. Then they have the others run around and get open. He finds them a lot of the times.
Free throw, no good.
I like how you can also run it through your point guard and Cutter Lapine. Or as we've seen on the first few possessions, they're running it through their center and Luke Verichok.
His second free throw rattles in, and we've got a tie game with 5:44 to go. Jordan Barnes with it. Crosses the timeline, guarded by Cutter Lapine. Wistersill. Top of the key, throws over to Dutch Dowdell, now gives Dowdell a pick. Pull up, free throw line, Jay off the front rim, no good for Dutch. Wolf into the front court, guarded by Olsen. Throws over to Lapine. Guarded by Luke Lowe, the best wing defender on this Titan team. Wolf hands back to Lapine. Step back 3 on the way again, no good, and Wolf gets the offensive rebound. Inside to Lapine, the passes to his left, too far. Titans run with the turnover. Dutch Dowdell, open 3 on the way, no good. Defensive rebound for Wisner.
Dutch has got a couple of looks, he's missed them. And I think this Olympus team, when they get a defensive rebound, they're pushing the pace. And if you're Park City, after you miss your shot, you have no time to rest. You have to be getting back.
And they've done a good job so far. I mean, a couple open looks to Dutch, but for the most part, they have not let the Titans run in transition.
And it's going to get harder as the game goes on when you're more tired. You just got to get in a habit of when the shot goes up, get back.
Wolf with it. Guarded by Anthony Olson. In that right corner, dumps down off of Verichok, out of bounds. Titan basketball. Pass was just a little low for Verichok. Jordan Barnes, second in the nation for assists per game. He brings it down, looks inside to Wistersill, working on Verichok, spins inside and finishes. Jack Wistersill. Lockwood goes up and finishes. Kai Lockwood.
And on that last possession for Park City, Sebastian Wolf tried to bring help D, and if you're too slow, Jack's going to make it right before you can get there.
Wistersill has it here. Back over to Dowdell. Now Olsen with it. Spins inside, floats, and fouled. Dylan Wisner will get called for the defensive foul, and that'll send Anthony Olsen to the line. Only shooting 26% on the year from the foul stripe.
It's been a good first quarter for Park City. Halfway through the first quarter, and it's a tie game. Your offense, you've been getting some decent shots. We're seeing a lot of movement defensively. They've done a great job.
Second free throw for Olsen is good, and the Titans take a 6-5 lead. Lockwood throws it over to Wolf. They break the trap, running in transition. Verichok goes up, blocked. Wistersill got it. Lapine in the corner, three on the way, no good off the back iron. And Lockwood goes up and draws the foul and one for Kai Lockwood. Park City leads 7-6, chance to balloon the lead to 2 at the free throw stripe.
I like how Park City did there. Once they broke the trap, they pushed it, and they did not waste any time. They get shot up, get the rebound, put another one up, get another rebound, get a foul.
Free throw no good for Lockwood.
The second you break that trap, if you keep pushing the pace, it's gonna be really hard for Olympus to get in their normal defensive sets, and you'll either get a foul or an open shot. That's like how they never stop moving.
Barnes with it, kicks out Wistersill, three on the way. Give him three, 2 threes, Jack Wistersill.
Dutch hasn't made them. Jordan hasn't gotten any good looks, but there's Jack Wistersill, and he can shoot it. He already has 2.
Lockwood's three on the way, no good. Offensive rebound, Wolf. Slips it inside to Verichok. Floats and knocks it down. Tie game, 9-9. Park City hanging around in the first quarter. Barnes spins off the Wistersill pick. Pops the three, no good. That'll be out of bounds off of Olympus.
And Jordan
Park
Barnes,
City ball.
after that huge game, he's sort of taking a couple tough shots here in the first quarter, trying to see if he still sort of got that magic he had against Brighton, see if he can still make those deep threes.
Cutter Lapine with it. Skips ahead, out of bounds. Olympus ball. Looked like he was looking for Sebastian Wolf, and he was thinking Wolf was going to cut to the sideline. Wolf never did. Pass rolls out of bounds.
And that's so tough when you pick it up to pass, and the person you're going past to is not there, because you can't dribble again, and you're sort of stuck there, and decide to try and get it there anyway. Went out of bounds.
Barnes gets a double pick. Wistersill throws out to Dutch. Top of the key three, no good. Anthony Olsen, offensive rebound, spins inside, goes up and finishes. Anthony Olsen, what a great move.
I think one thing that helps Anthony Olsen a lot inside is not his strength, but his speed. He can get around most bigs and get right to the rim.
Shot no good for Wisner. The throw ahead to Anthony Olsen. Has the mismatch, kicks out to Barnes. Jack Wistersill over to Luke Lowe, three on the way. Knock it down, Luke Lowe. Third three of the first quarter for the Olympus Titans.
Luke Lowe, he doesn't shoot a ton of threes, but he makes them when you give him a chance. 42% on the year.
Dowdell, three on the way here, no good. Jordan Barnes, offensive rebound. Wistersill, another three. No good, rims out. And Park City snares the defensive rebound. Wolf brings it down for the Miners. Lapine with it. We got a timeout. Park City. Olympus 14-9 on the little 5-0 run. And Park City calls a timeout.
Dutch Dowdell, he struggled, but on a lot of those shots we've seen him make before, and he's sort of in a slump. We see shooters go through him all the time, but the thing is with the slump, once you break that slump, usually that's a hot streak where you go in a few games where you're making everything. So I think that's okay. You're okay with him shooting those, because once he starts making them, it's almost game over.
And what can you do as a player to try to get out of those cold streaks?
I don't know if there's much you can do, because sometimes it just builds on it. Once you miss a few, you start getting in your head. You get nervous. Every time you shoot, you're more and more nervous, and your shot sort of starts to change without noticing. And all you got to do is don't take excessively bad shots to try and get yourself going. But if you have a shot that's decent, that's a good shot, take it. And once you start making them, you're going to get back in your rhythm before you know it. Start you making them, you start getting more confident. And then once you're shooting with confidence, you'll be just fine.
1:37 to go in the first quarter. A good one so far.
It's not uncommon to see a shooter slump like this.
Especially, Dutch has played at such a high level the entire season. I think he can still have a great night tonight, even after a couple of first misses here in the opening quarter.
That's what happens when you set the bar so high. If you don't reach it, it feels like you didn't do anything.
Cutter Lapine with it for the Miners. Throws over to Dylan Wisner. He's got Dutch Dowdell on him. Wolf now with it, left wing. Throws corner to Lapine. Drives baseline, throws out. Oh, what a pass to Verichok. Verichok can't finish, though. And Olympus pushes ahead. Will Rich with it. Jack Wistersill pumps the three, gets inside, goes up, can't finish over the smaller Kai Lockwood. And it'll be Park City ball.
Well, he didn't finish the layup, but you saw there how he made some threes. You knew he might have shot them. You knew he could have made it if he shot it. So we saw Luke Verichok come up, try and guard him from there, which created a drive off the dribble right there. So the shootings open up, sort of drive a little bit. If you pass it out to Jack Wistersill, you sort of have to get out there and guard him now after he's been making these in the first quarter.
Matthew Hale and Will Agnew check in for the Park City Miners. Hale gets it into Lapine here. Throws it over to Agnew. Ahead to Hale. Verichok inside. Throws right to Dutch Dowdell. Turnover Miners. Dowdell goes behind the back and gets the reach-in foul on Cutter Lapine.
If your best scorer, your leading scorer is your center, you want to get him one-on-one in the center like we're seeing Park City do. But the problem is Jack Wistersill is a really good defender, so that's really not an advantage like he's been used to. And we've seen when he gets it inside, he's gotten turnovers, shot blocked, and he hasn't really been comfortable inside.
Barnes with it. Throws over Lucas McCain, open three on the way. No good. Wistersill, stick back, yes. Already 10 points for Jack Wistersill in the first quarter. Lapine with it baseline, guarded by Dutch. Agnew in the corner, three on the way. No good, off the back iron. Dutch Dowdell gets the rebound. And Jordan Barnes races ahead. Goes reverse side layup, good! Jordan Barnes with his first points of the night.
What a play that was, to get the rebound, and they don't stop. They push it down. Jordan Barnes gets past the defender, reverse layup. There's nothing you can do to stop him. You have to be ready every time they get the ball.
Lapine hands to Agnew, three on the way, no good to beat the buzzer. Olympus leads 18-9. They are currently on a 9-0 run to end the first quarter. What did you see from that last half of the first quarter from the Titans?
Well, Park City, they're playing their defense. It looked the same in the first four and the first four and the last four of the first quarter. But I think the difference was Olympus. They were making more shots, and they were creating more shots, whether that was off the rebound, not stopping, pushing it down. And we saw in the last 4 minutes, Olympus outscored them 13-4, as opposed to a 5-5 in the first 4 minutes.
3 threes from the Titans certainly helped. 2 from Jack Wistersill. And Wistersill hitting threes, what does that do to a defense? What do you have to do when Wistersill hits 2 threes on you to open the game?
Well, I think going into this game, you were only worried about the others shooting threes. They were definitely prepared for Wistersill inside. You'd see them bring help defense when he got it and everything. With him shooting threes, we now see Luke Verichok have to come out to the perimeter. We've seen Jack Wistersill drive by him. Or that just opens up the paint for everyone other. If you can keep Jack at the perimeter and have others drive in, there'll be no one there.
And we saw that with Jordan Barnes just a couple of possessions ago. He was able to slice right to the rim and lay it in because Verichok was out guarding Wistersill.
We talked about pregame how you can't stop all 3. You're going to stop 1 or 2. This time they stopped Jordan Barnes. Judge sort of missed a few shots he could have made, but there was Jack Worship still to clean it all up. Olympus still up 9 after that quarter.
Will Rich inbounds to Jordan Barnes. Guarded by Cutter Lapine. Wistersill inside, triple teamed, and he's going to draw the foul. Jordan Barnes will inbound for the Titans. Gets it out to Will Rich, top of the key, over to Wistersill. Throws far side, Dutch Dowdell, 3 on the way, knocks it down! His first of the night.
We see those horizontal passes all the time by Jordan Barnes in the offense, but there Jack Worship still making his own.
3 on the way for Park City, no good. The throw ahead to Dowdell. Mishandles the pass, throws it inside to Barnes. Low post, working inside, kicks out McCain. Wistersill over to Will Rich. Back to Barnes. Guarded by Agnew. Spins on him, inside. Working, inside to McCain. What a pass, layup good. Jordan Barnes, my goodness.
And there's few people who in high school can make that pass. This Olympus offense, we can see each player can shoot from everywhere on the court, so whenever they get the ball, they sort of almost do a little bit of pump fake, and you really just don't know when or where a person's going to shoot because they can shoot almost at any time in the possession.
Verichok's shot is no good, and the throw-ahead pass is picked off. Lockwood with it for the Miners. Guarded by Dowdell. Kicks out to Gordon. Spins inside, floats, and scores. That ends a 14-0 run for the Olympus Titans. Barnes hands to Rich. Wistersill over to Dowdell. Left wing. Gets the pick. Has an opening. 3 on the way. No good. And Agnew pushes it up for the Miners. Gets a pick from Verichok. Going into Jack. Floats and gets the foul. Wistersill was straight up again, and Verichok goes into his body, gets the call.
That's what you got to do when you're center. You have to go into them when you're feeling sort of like you can't get anything over the top or like that. Just go into them. Most of the time you're probably going to get a foul unless they're very disciplined defensively.
Free throw coming for Verichok, and it is no good. Cutter Lapine and Wolf check back in for the Miners. Second one coming for Verichok. It's up and perfect for the big man. 23-12 our score. And we see there Cutter Lapine played a full court press on Jordan Barnes to deny him the ball. He has it here, throws into Wistersill. Has Verichok on him. Drives inside, goes up, no good. And Lapine pulls out the rebound. Gets a pick from Verichok, top of the key, has Wistersill on him. Throws right wing, inside to Verichok. Working on McCain, floats, air ball from Verichok, off of Barnes, out of bounds.
Right there's your puck. So you had sort of 2 mismatches. You had Jack Wistersill on Cutter Lapine, then you had Luke Verichok on Lucas McCain. And I think they should have taken their time, realized that, and took advantage of that.
Lapine with it right wing. Drives inside, throws it inside to Lockwood, that was Dylan Wisner he was looking for, and it's turned over, Titan basketball. Dowdell with it left wing. Throws over to McCain, now Jordan Barnes with it. Will Rich over to McCain. Right wing, dumps down Wistersill. Dutch Dowdell was wide open in the paint for a brief second, couldn't get it to him. Now he's open in the corner, drives inside. Barnes, open triple on the way, give him the triple! Jordan Barnes!
So tough to stop this team because they can shoot from anywhere. One person gets the ball, they might shoot that, you never know. And they all have a good sense of pump faking, doing a little pass fake, and getting the shot.
Lapine answers right back with the pull-up 3, the first of the night for the Park City Miners.
And Cutter Lapine, he's done a good job of getting a couple shots from the 3 or one where his foot was on the line, stuff like that. But he hasn't been able to get past his defender or get others involved like we need him to do as a point guard for Park City. Because all the other Park City players, they sort of rely on Cutter Lapine to get him the ball when they're open and get their shots. And right now he's only gotten a couple threes for himself, and the whole offense as a result hasn't been doing much.
Wistersill gets the offensive foul. He'll sit. Verichok with it. Working on Olsen. Shot up, no good. Wolf, offensive rebound. He's tracked down a couple, goes up and finishes through 3 Titan defenders. Cuts the lead down to 9. Barnes with it. Anthony Olsen now to Luke Lowe, left wing. Dutch Dowdell drives inside. Shot over Verichok, no call. And Luke Lowe pulls out the offensive rebound. And he just gets bodied by Sebastian Wolf. Foul on the Miners. It'll stay Olympus basketball.
This Park City, they're sort of playing a defense where they're anticipating where Olympus is going to go next. And they're ready. Well, most of the time, they're ready for Olympus to get to that next step. And they have 2 defenders there, or they're on their man, ready for them to get the pass so they can't get the shot off. So this Park City, they're putting a little bit of anticipation where Olympus is going to go next and being ready.
Barnes gets it into Wistersill. McCain has it left corner. Dutch Dowdell, top of the key to Jordan Barnes. Working on the 2-3 zone for the Miners. Barnes, high post to McCain. Wide open 3 for Jordan Barnes, no good. Anthony Olsen, offensive rebound, throws out to Jordan Barnes. Lucas McCain inside, floats, no good. Anthony Olsen, offensive board, and we're gonna get a jump ball. Kai Lockwood with the block, forcing the jump ball.
Incredible Park City there. They not only stopped 1 possession, but Anthony Olsen grabbed 2 offensive boards, and they stopped him 2 more times.
Agnew throws ahead to Wisner, back to Agnew. Wolf has it, left wing guarded by Dutch Dowdell. And Dutch Dowdell gets the ball on the floor, but Wolf picks it back up, blocked! Anthony Olsen! Olsen will get called for the foul. The inlet pass to Verichok, he went over his back to try to tip it away, and that'll get the call every time, but an incredible block.
We've seen in Park City when they try and go up near the rim, Olympus, they have the vertical, and they can get up, and they knock them down. They've blocked, I believe, 3 shots here tonight.
Lockwood floats, no good. Lucas McCain tracks down the loose ball. We're gonna get a push foul on Sebastian Wolf. That'll be his first.
Sebastian Wolf with the foul. 15 foul.
Again, we're seeing the full court press on Jordan Barnes, and we get a timeout for the Park City Miners. Right now, a 9-point game, so the same margin as it was at the end of the first quarter.
I feel like as of recently, in the past 2 to 3 minutes, Park City's played a little bit better. Maybe that was due to Jack Wisher still being out, or I think it was just the hustle. Defensively, they moved zone, and everyone in that zone, they were covering a little bit more ground than maybe their zone is designed to be, which was just helps them a ton. The one downside of that, if you try and play that full game, you're never going to have enough energy to finish it out down the stretch. So I think that's why we didn't see it from the start. They start a little bit at the man, and not only that, offensively, they're pulling down offensive boards, they're finishing a little bit through contact, and just really doing a little bit of everything on energy. They haven't gotten many shots, though. That's the one thing. Many threes for Park City this game.
And for Olympus, facing that 2-3 zone from the Miners, what it's doing is they're getting contested looks. You know,
Yeah.
Jordan Barnes had that one wide open 3, but it was a deep one. Other than that, Park City's able to recover and get a hand in the Titans' face.
It forces the Titans to sort of make a decision, because every time you get the ball at the 3-point line against the 2-3 zone, you'll have enough space that you're considering it, but it's not enough you're comfortable enough shooting it. So you just got to choose, I'm not going to shoot it that often, or I'm going to shoot it every time I have that amount of space. And it just sort of makes you choose more and have more decisions to deal with offensively.
And the Miners have switched back to a man here. Dowdell throws corner to Luke Lowe. Back to Lowe. Now Barnes with it. Dowdell right wing. pops the deep three. Knock it down, Dutch Dowdell. 2 threes so far for Dutch Dowdell.
And the Miners, they did everything right. Dutch just shot it right over the whole defense.
Wolf with it in transition. Floats, no good off the back iron. Tipped out by Park City. Nope, they're going to say off of Olympus.
Both teams have done good rebounding. They've gotten offensive rebounds, both teams. Just been a physical rebounding battle.
And Anthony Olson using his tight end skills to go up and collect the inbound pass for the steal. Luke Lowe over to Olson. Now Dowdell. Guarded by Lockwood. Drives inside, kicks out. Olson swings. Barnes, three. No good. And Cutter Lapine snares the rebound.
Park City offense has been working pretty well. But I don't think I was expecting here in this game. The one problem I have is each player is curating for themselves. And so each player is relying on themselves and not others.
Verichuk gets it inside to Cutter Lapine. We've got a foul on Luke Lowe.
We've seen all 17 of their points been from free throws, off a foul, or shots where they created the open space themselves with the ball. Maybe a step back. I've seen Cutter Lapine. And so I think just the one knock is maybe getting each other open and not just yourself.
Wolf, quick pull-up jumper, no good, but Verichuk gets the offensive rebound. Stick back, no good. Jordan Barnes pulls out the loose ball. He gets trapped, throws to Dutch Dowdell. Mid-range jumper, too long. Luke Lowe tips it off the backboard. Great hustle from Lowe, but it'll be Park City basketball. Lapine has the mismatch on Anthony Olson right now, out of the transition. Throws it inside to Wolf, and that gives an opportunity for the Olympus defense to reset.
Luke Lowe brings so much defensively because you have to really sort of, if you're a player, know where he is. Because at any time, he can come in from behind. He knows when to steal out the ball. He knows the perfect timing. He has great instincts at when to swipe at it, and he'll come right from behind if you're not careful.
Kai Lockwood floats and scores, cuts the lead to 10 with just under a minute to go in the first half. Dowdell, another three on the way, no good, in and out. McCain goes up, can't finish. Second time tonight he's gotten the offensive rebound and can't finish the stick back. Lapine, step back three on the way, no good. And we're going to get a loose ball foul on the Miners, Titan basketball. And that's something we're seeing from Cutter Lapine. All of his points have come from step back, deep shots. The first one, his toe was on the line, so it was a 2. Second one, it's a 3. Those are not high percentage looks.
This has been a very physical rebounding battle as well. Both teams, when the shot goes up, there's like 6 to 8 players in the paint, all fighting for the rebound. And we've seen fouls, physical game, and lots of offensive rebounds.
Jordan Barnes tips it over to Wistersill. Great effort from him. Luke Lowe, open corner, 3, drills it. Luke Lowe, his second 3 of the night. And he snares the steal at the end of the half, hucks it at the buzzer. Luke Lowe, a great end to the first half for him, drills a 3 and then snares a steal. And 7 3-pointers for the Titans in that first half, Jack. Why do you think their shooting was so good?
Because Park City, I think they were focused on the interior. Whenever a person got it inside, they would bring the help D constantly. And the Titans, they found the shooters. They always do, and they'll get the shots. And one thing I've noticed with the Titans is on their fast breaks, they usually push the pace. And when they're moving with pace, when they're moving fast, they have a couple players that stay at the three-point line so that they stretch them out, and they always find the three-point shooters.
And the story right now, 7 threes for the Titans, 1 3 for the Park City Miners. It's 32-19 at the half. Olympus up big and showing again why they are the top team in 5A Utah high school basketball right now. We'll step away and we'll be back in just under 9.5 minutes. You've been watching Olympus basketball on OlyTV.
Fans, tonight we'd like to recognize some of our amazing student athletes at Olympus High. Not only are students incredible athletes, they are also great students. We had several of our students who competed in fall sports, making the academic all-star team for their respective sports. Tonight we would like to honor our students who made academic all-state this past fall. Students, when you hear your name, come on out and let's show them some love. First of all, for girls soccer, Kelly Bullock. Also, if the coaches are here, please join the student athlete on the middle court. For girls cross country, Cindy Maxfield. For boys golf, Coleman Norton. For boys cross country, William Spence. For girls soccer, Emma Neff. For football, Josh Tolis. And for flag football, Matt Herron. And for volleyball, Claire Dowdell. Fans, we also have several cheerleaders and dance company members who also meet the qualifications for an academic all-state award. We would like to recognize and highlight these incredible athletes. First of all, in dance company, Gracie Jenke. Also in dance company, Michaela Maxwell. Let's give it up for Anna Fox for the dance company. Also for the dance company, Maddie Petterson. From our cheer team, Jamie Bono. Also from our cheer team, Gracie Jenke. Also from cheer, Haley Zimmerman. And also in cheer, Maddie Peterson. Again, fans, let's give it up for our amazing students at Olympus High School and recognize them for their great academic success.
Ladies and gentlemen, the chair are going to do their captain's routine. Put your hands together.
Welcome back to Olympus basketball on OlyTV. Our halftime score, the Olympus Titans lead 32-19 over the Park City Miners. My name is Mark Schwartz, alongside me,
Jackson Bodley.
and we are your commentators this evening for this Region 6 matchup. Jack, what did you see from the Olympus Titans in that first half?
Well, I saw in that first half, first of all, Jack Wisherstill, he was incredible. 10 points, 10 out of the 32 points for Olympus. He was shooting threes, had 2 made threes. He led the team offensively there, but I saw them doing their normal, pushing the pace, getting down courts, and finding the open shooters.
And you could see a very big impact when he went out of the game with foul trouble. And I think that was a good move by Coach Barnes to pull him out, keep him ready for the second half where you can come pull away in the third quarter. And this Olympus team, what they do, I would compare them to the Golden State Warriors a couple of years ago, where so much offensive firepower. You play it close, it's maybe a 10-point game. You're feeling like you're still in it if you're Park City at this point. And then Olympus will just come out in the third quarter and drop the hammer on you, and you'll be down 20.
That's because every player can shoot, every player can dribble well. So when you're Olympus in their offense, you don't know who or when they're going to shoot. It can be at any time. They can shoot super quick behind the three-point line. So you gotta expect a shot at any time in the possession. You just never know when it's going to come.
And for the Titans, when it rains, it pours. Once one guy hits one, he's going to either hit 3 more or the entire team is going to just start lighting up from outside. And Jack Wisherstill, we've talked about the outside shot. 2 threes, great job. But his interior presence, they are double, triple teaming him down there, and he's still finding ways to finish inside. That's something that I think is very underrated about his play is
Yep.
how good of a finisher he is. He can finish through contact, great control, body control, gets up, able to power through. Outside of Wistersill, you know, you have Jordan Barnes, he's hit a 3. Luke Lowe has 2 threes. Dutch Dowdell has 2 threes. They have been very good. Anthony Olson has been very good on the defensive and offensive glass. A solid first half from the Titans. And for the Miners,
I've seen Jack Wistersill when he's in the paint. What I've noticed is sort of as the season's gone on, is he's gone quicker in getting into his moves. He doesn't waste any time. He doesn't give them time to bring the help D. He gets the shot up before they can come.
and when he goes that quick, if the double team's not set, there's a good chance that he draws the foul as the double team tries to rush to stay in front of it. For the Miners, Cutter Lapine has really been the only hot spot so far. Some good shooting, nice moves. Has 5 of the Miners' 19 points. Luke Verichok's played well.
I think it's been the offensive rebounding with the Miners because they haven't really been creating many good shots, but what they've been doing to get their points is get those second chance points, get that rebound, and then they're already at the rim, or they either get fouled or they make the basket. So they haven't really been creating for other, getting assists, but they've been rebounding well, and that's where I think most of their points as a team came from.
Well, we're teed up and ready to go for the second half of action between the Olympus Titans and Park City Miners. Olympus will start with the basketball, and Olson is ready to key it in to Jordan Barnes. Lineups to start the second half, same as your starting lineups at the start of the game. Dowdell with it, right wing. Throws corner to Olson, inside to Wistersill, pass too hard for him. And it looks like Verichok maybe gave a little shove in the back, so Wistersill couldn't collect it. Cutter Lapine with it for Park City. Now Lockwood. Verichok, right wing, guarded by Wistersill. Hands to Wolf, who gets a pick from Verichok. Wisner throws inside and right to Jordan Barnes.
This player is so athletic defensively. They can grab any ball and steal anyone.
Wistersill goes up and draws the foul on the double team. Got sandwiched between Sebastian Wolf and Luke Verichok. First one perfect for Wistersill. He's got 11 points on the night.
Well, just defensively, they've done great, but their guards, I think, haven't gotten their normal impact. They haven't got as many steals, which haven't created much fast break.
Second free throw up and good, and I think that is a testament to Park City's great handling guards. They're not lazy with the ball. They're not sloppy. Cutter Lapine very precise with his passing.
Whoop.
And Jordan Barnes steals it right away from Sebastian Wolf. Anthony Olson goes up, draws the foul. He'll go to the line to shoot 2 after the hard fall.
And just as I was talking about them maybe not getting as many steals, they get one right there. Just everything with the Titans can happen at any moment. Dutch Dowdell can hit 5 threes in one quarter. You just never know what's going to happen.
First free throw up and in. Anthony Olson rattles it home.
You might be thinking one player has a bad game, but really it could be just a bad quarter and half, and you're in for a huge second half.
Olson second, perfect as well. 36-19 our score. Lapine crosses the timeline and is picked up by Jordan Barnes. Verichok loses the dribble and Anthony Olson picks up the loose ball. Jordan Barnes with it. Hands to Dowdell, 3 on the way, no good. Luke Lowe, offensive rebound, throws it into Dutch Dowdell, floats and scores. Luke Lowe, what a rebound. 2 Miners in the area, both had the size advantage, and he goes up and collects the offensive board. Lapine step back, 3 on the way. Jordan Barnes got to it. And Dutch Dowdell brings it ahead.
Park City hasn't
Titans.
taken many bad shots, but Cutter Lapine has taken a few.
Jordan Barnes slicing right to the lane and lays it in.
The few shots I think you can take away from your offense and not really take them anymore would be those step back threes or those threes from Cutler Pine that he hasn't really made.
Timeout for Park City. And we saw in that last possession with Jordan Barnes slicing to the rim again. It happened in the first half, and it's happening here. When Jack Wisterstill's on the floor and he's hit 2 threes, when he steps outside to open up that lane, Verichok has to follow, and the paint is wide open for those slashing guards for Olympus.
Jack Wisterstill started the game scoring 10 points, having Dutch Dowdell and Jordan Barnes 0 at that point. But since then, Jack Wisterstill's only 2, Dutch with 8, and Jordan Barnes with 7. So I think Park City, they've definitely Jack sit a little bit for fouls. Park City's a little bit more better prepared for Jack, and the other 2 picks up the slack. They then start scoring. You can't stop all 3 at one time. It's just incredible on what they can do.
Dutch Dowdell and Jack Wisterstill have combined for 20 points on the night. That is more than the entire Park City team. Wolf gets it in to Lockwood. Gets the pass out to Cutter Lapine. He's guarded by Jordan Barnes. Hands back to Lockwood. Right back to Lapine. Throws it in to Verichok. Floats no good. And Wisterstill snares the defensive rebound. What an effort from Jack Wisterstill. Barnes in transition. We're going to get a poke foul on Cutter Lapine, and Jordan Barnes will key it in from the baseline.
Olympus, they're causing these fouls. They push the pace. They get in the front court. They get towards the basket, and you're out of sorts, and you have to do something to try and stop it. You try and get a steal, and that's when the fouls come.
Anthony Olsen throws courtside to Jordan Barnes. Off of Barnes, out of bounds. Turnover on the Titans.
Good reminder, you got to find some offense. 0 points here in the third quarter. Olympus, their offense been doing great. They have 8. They're about to fall behind big time if they don't get some points.
Verichok throws into Cutter Lapine. Anthony Olsen was there, and Luke Lowe gets the block on Dylan Wisner. Jordan Barnes with it. Luke Lowe corner, back to Barnes. And we're going to get another foul. That one is on Kai Lockwood. Barnes just relentlessly attacking this Park City defense.
Especially on that possession, you saw the quick decisions. When each player has the ball, they go, do I shoot it? And they don't take time thinking about it. They get the ball to the next person. They get the ball moving around. They don't take the time.
Barnes slashing in the lane. Can't get the shot to go, and Wolf secures the board. Wolf hands back to Lockwood. Throws over to Cutter Lapine. Drives inside, kicks out Wolf. Corner 3 on the way. Kicks off the back iron. And Lockwood's going to get the offensive foul. He fended off with his left arm to clear space on Jordan Barnes.
Park City offensively, they haven't been attacking or testing the Olympus guards. We send them when they have Jordan Barnes or Luke Lowe on them. They don't really do much. They pretty much pass it to the next person. They don't attack them. They don't test them because they know it's usually not going to end well.
Barnes with it. Throws into Jack Wisterstill. Working on Verichok. Goes reverse side and 1. Jack Wisterstill. 14 points and a chance for 15 at the charity stripe. Free throw short for the big man. And we're going to get a loose ball foul on Anthony Olsen. That's his second foul on the night. So both of the Titan big men, Jack Wisterstill and Anthony Olsen, have 2 fouls.
Park City, we've seen Luke Verichok get a couple of shots up and over Jack Wisterstill, but those shots, he hasn't made any of them. I think Jack Wisterstill's been too tall. He's been right there with him, and they just need to find some open shots for really anyone here.
Cutter Lapine gets an open shot, and it rims out. Jordan Barnes pushes it up for the Titans. Slings over Luke Lowe. Now corner to Dutch Dowdell. Drives baseline. Layup good. Dutch Dowdell squirts into double figures with 10 points on the night. Verichok working inside on Olsen, floats right to Dutch Dowdell, air ball for Luke Verichok.
And those little turnarounds one-handed for Luke Verichok. He's taken about 3 or 4 of them. He's made 0 of them.
Barnes slings over Luke Lowe, open triple, drills it. Luke Lowe, 3 triples on the night.
Luke Lowe is one of those players, he's not your main focus, but if you don't guard him, he'll make you pay.
Lapine drives inside, floats, and he's going to get the foul on Luke Lowe. Excuse me, they're going to call the foul on Barnes, not Lowe. Lapine's free throw rims out.
The one thing I think Park City's done a really good job here is getting to the foul line. Could be a lot better if had they made more free throws, but at least they've been getting to the line, getting chances.
Second free throw rolls in for Lapine. Timeout, Park City. Just 1 remaining. Titans have yet to use a timeout tonight.
This was a 15-2 run in the 3rd quarter for the Titans. Park City hasn't gone many points at all. I think a 15-1 run, my bad. I think it should have been a great quarter by the Titans. Park City definitely has a lot to talk about here. 27 points in only 11 minutes of game time. Huge challenge.
And it started with this Olympus defense. They locked down. They completely shut down the Park City offense. And once they started not having to take the ball out of the net, that's where the transition offense opens up, and this team is unstoppable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we see it. They never give you a rest if you're Olympus. They get the ball, they're pushing the pace. They get a steal, they're pushing the pace. They inbound the ball, they're pushing it down the court fast. They never give you a chance to set your defense perfectly, and it results in open threes.
Barnes with it, facing that half court or 3/4 court press.
And that sort of slows it down, slows Olympus down, doesn't let them get into their offensive set as fast.
Wistersill goes up and draws the foul. Quick double team on him from the Miners. We've seen that all night. Duke Gordon and Luke Verichok there to contest the shot, and Wistersill goes to the line once again.
Miners should just play a little bit better. Defensively, they've been right there, but they just got to finish it off without fouling. We've seen so many times.
A perfect free throw for Jack Wistersill.
The Titans are already in the bonus here in the 3rd quarter. The Park City, they try and be with him each time. They try and double Jack when he gets the ball, but it's resulted in so many fouls, and now here, really hard to come back when they're already in the bonus.
Free throw no good, and Lockwood brings it up for the Miners. Drives at Luke Lowe, kicks out, and we're going to get a blocking foul on Lowe.
Park City definitely feels a little bit frustrated because Olympus has stayed in front of them the whole game. Olympus has been right there. Every time they get the ball, Olympus is in front of them. Olympus in between the basket and Park City every time.
Lapine with it. Just 6 points for him on the night. Gordon back over to Lapine, tipped out by Jordan Barnes. Off of Lapine, out of bounds. Olympus basketball. Lapine does not like the call. Barnes throws to Wistersill. Now Dowdell with it. Barnes drives, floats, off the window and in. Jordan Barnes gets it to go. 9 points for him on the night. Gordon swings far side to Lapine. Spins on Barnes, floats off the side of the rim. No good. Stick back is good, though, from Dylan Wisner. The throw-ahead pass to Anthony Olsen is tipped out, and it'll be Park City basketball.
Olympus offensively, they haven't had one player take over completely. Jack's definitely been the leader tonight because they have Jordan Barnes with 9, Luke Lowe with 9, Dutch Dowdell with 10. So they've had a multitude of players score or loss.
Dutch from way downtown, no good. Offensive rebound for the Titans. They get a second possession. Dutch, another 3 on the way. Give him 3. Dutch Dowdell. 13 points on the night for him, and 9 three-pointers for the Titans. Dutch getting back into double figures for the first time in the last 3 games. Lockwood drives inside, throws over to Verichok, floats up and gets it to go. Off the back iron and down for Luke Verichok. Barnes hands back to Wistersill, 3 on the way, drills it, perfect. Jack Wistersill, call him Dutch Dowdell already. 3 triples for him as well.
If you're Park City, you're ready for possession, you're getting ready, and then they shoot it right early in possession. The center shooting it from way downtown. There's nothing you're going to do to stop that. You're getting ready, and they shoot it that early in the possession, that far from behind the point line, and they make it.
Lapine slings to the corner. Wisner back to Lapine, 3 on the way. He'll knock it down. 9 points for Cutter Lapine. Barnes drives inside. Oh, what a pass to Lucas McCain. Jordan Barnes dropping dimes on the last 2 possessions.
It's incredible watching this team because almost every other possession you see some highlight, whether it's a deep 3, a pass like that, and one. Almost all the time you see highlights like that with this Olympus team.
Lapine over to Lockwood. As Jack Wistersill on him, swings over to Gordon. Lockwood with it, hands back to Lapine, drives, baseline. Dutch Dowdell contests, throws it inside, picked up by Barnes as the buzzer sounds. 58-27. The Titans only allow 8 points in the 3rd quarter and score 25. An incredible 3rd quarter from the Olympus Titans. We talked about just before the start of the 2nd half how Olympus consistently comes out and drops the hammer in the 3rd quarter, and they did it again tonight. What did you see from that Olympus team in the 3rd quarter, Jack?
Well, defensively, they kept all of Park City in front of them. Whenever they had the ball, Olympus was right there in front of them. They could not get past them. They could not get to the rim, get open shots. Defensively, they were incredible. Offensively, you saw Dutch Dowdell start chipping in. Finished the quarter, and now it's 13 points in the game. He made a couple threes. And there's Jack Wister shooting from behind. Way behind the 3-point line. Olympus just fast early in possession. They'll get it to go.
Both Wistersill and Dowdell with 3 triples. Luke Lowe also has 3 triples. 10 3-pointers on the night for the Olympus Titans compared to 2 for the Park City Miners. 58-27. Titans up by 31 on the Miners, and great defense. Just great defense from this Olympus team.
The only, I guess, thing they haven't done well is rebound the ball. But other than that, they've played almost perfect.
Agnew with it. Now Gordon throws inside to Verichok. Working on Wistersill. Off the window and good. Nice move from Luke Verichok. Barnes pushes ahead past Agnew. In the lane. And we're going to get a foul on Agnew.
And the bonus, that's going to be 1-and-1.
Olympus will shoot the rest of the way.
It's so tough to get in the bonus in the 3rd quarter because the whole 4th quarter, small little fouls like that results in points.
And Barnes' free throw is no good. Lucas McCain offensive rebound. Great hustle from him. Dowdell swings over Barnes. Right wing. Drives inside, floats, and he'll draw the foul, go to the line again. 3-9 the foul disparity right now, favoring the Titans.
I think for just Park City, they feel like they have to do more defensively to contest these great shooters, these great finishers, and it results in more fouls. Because if you're not right there, they're going to make it, and if you get too close, you're going to draw a foul.
Barnes' free throw is up and good, 10 points for him. 3 Titans now in double figures.
And Luke Lowe just needs one more point to make the 4th.
Barnes is perfect from the line. And Agnew brings it up for the Miners. Choke, baseline. We'll get the foul on Jack Wistersill, and we'll get a send-in for the Miners.
Luke Verchuk has 8 points, but it could be a lot more. He's got some shots at the rim, but credit to Jack for being right there, staying with him, defending him. He's gotten tons of shots off, and Jack's been there to make him miss.
Lister, what a pass. Slang it to Matthew Hale, but couldn't finish the shot. Touchdown, L. 3 on the way, no good. Lucas McCain, another offensive rebound. Sends out to Barnes, his 3. Drills it! Jordan Barnes. 11 triples on the night, 2 for Barnes. And he has 14 points and a steal here. Slings inside to touchdown L. Oh, just off his fingertips, out of bounds.
These Titan shooters, they've gotten so good that they've realized, if I can shoot from a few feet behind the three-point line, I'm going to do that because I can make it from there, and I'll give myself some extra space, some extra time to get the shot off. And that's what we've seen in this game. We've seen Jack, we've seen Dutch, we've seen Jordan Barnes shoot from 3 to 4 feet behind the three-point line and get themselves the extra space, the extra time to get the shot off, and they've been making them. It's just so hard to stop when you get all those players who can shoot from that far.
63-29 our score. Lockwood with it for the Miners. Has Dowdell on him. Swings over to Lapine. Wisner with it. Swings over, tipped out by Barnes again, but Wisner collects. Lockwood. Hands to Lapine. Drives on Dowdell. Retreats out. Drives again baseline. And he's going to step out of bounds. Titan basketball. Just towed the line there, and the ref called it.
Color Pines, he's given a great effort. He's been running around a lot, and when he's gotten sort of towards that baseline, Olympus is still right there with him, and he still can't get the layup. He just never has enough space. Olympus has been right there step by step with him.
Will Rich, back cut, easy lay-in. Jack Wistersill with the assist. 65-29. A 7-2 run for the Titans to open up the fourth quarter. Gordon floats, no good. Wistersill rebounds, throws ahead to Barnes. Shoots the triple, no good. Deep pull-up 3 for Jordan Barnes, can't get it to go. Still 14 points for him and 2 3-point makes on the night. Cutter Lapine brings it up for the Miners. 9 points on the night for him to lead the Miners. Gordon throws in, looking for Wisner, and the layup is good. Barnes swings over Will Rich, dumps down McCain. Inside pass to Will Rich again. The slashing guard has 4 on the board. Back-to-back buckets for Will Rich.
Each player in Olympus, they have that sort of that ability that they can pass it, do a little bounce pass to the cutter. Each player can pass that, make that pass. And so it's so hard to stop because you got all these players cutting, and each player can get the ball there.
Lapine throws way over for Gordon, off of Will Rich, out of bounds. Titan basketball.
At any time, anyone can shoot, but also at any time, someone can cut to the rim, and they can do a bounce pass in between the 2 defenders. It's just an incredible amount of talent this team has.
Lister, inbounds for Park City, gets it into Lapine. Hands to Lockwood, who drives inside. Titan defense there. They'll draw the foul.
Olympus team, they have tons of strength, but they have really no weaknesses. They have one of the best, if not the best, bench in the state. Their starters we know are incredible. All around, they can do everything.
And their weaknesses are more game to game. There's not one consistent weakness. You know, like tonight, they're not rebounding the basketball as well as they normally do, but that's not been a consistent theme through the season. And they're still probably leading the rebound total right now over the Miners.
I think the one consistent player who's always been consistent every game is Jack Wistersill. Maybe 1 or 2 bad games.
And even when maybe his scoring totals aren't up, his impact on the game is so huge. It opens up the entire offense. And he's so good. His rebounding ability is on point, and his ability to score inside is incredible.
Dutch Dowdell, he might have a few bad games here or here, but when he has a good game, he's scoring 30 plus or something like that, and he's incredible when he's good.
Lapine, turnaround hook shot, no good. Verichok saves it in. Lockwood with it. Drives on Dowdell, spins, pull up, floater, no good. Offensive rebound, Wisner out of bounds. Minor basketball. And when you talk about Dutch Dowdell, I feel like he's kind of the hammer to Jack Wistershill's anvil. He's maybe not quite as consistent as Wistershill, but when he comes to play, he's going to just drop you every game.
Jack Wistershill's the player, you know, he'll play good every night.
Will Rich's 3, no good. And Jordan Barnes, every game, he affects the game. In one way or the other, either his incredible passing or great defense, or sometimes he'll come out and give you 25. It's just, this team is complete, or as close to complete as you can get. Wistersill and Barnes take a seat. Both played very well tonight. Wistersill finishes with 18.
And I like keeping Dutch Dowdell in longer than the rest. He's been in a little bit of shooting slump. He's gotten a good amount of threes here, but he's taken more threes than usual to get there. Just give him a few more shots to maybe get back into the rhythm. If you can end the game on a few makes, that helps going into the next one.
And if you can, get him to the line, get him to get some points outside of that three-point shot, that'll also help build his confidence back up.
Yeah.
Titans into the double bonus, so Colin Collier will shoot 2 at the line. 67-31, my goodness. 9-4 run here in the fourth quarter for the Titans. Free throw off the back iron for Cohen.
And here they will take Dutch out.
Second free throw, up and no good again off the back iron. Cutter Lapine pushes ahead for Park City. Drives at Will Rich, floats and draws the foul. Chance to get into double figures for Cutter Lapine. And Lapine has been good tonight, but he needed to play perfect if Park City was going to beat this Olympus team.
Yeah, and he was the player going into this, or if he was good, he could get the rest involved and get the rest playing well.
First free throw good for Lapine, 10 points for him. Second one up and in. Will Rich brings it down for the Titans. Albert throws over to Collier. Now Burton with it. Rich, step back triple on the way. Knock it down! My goodness! Everything going in for the Titans tonight.
And the Titans, they have 70 points. Their offense has been incredible. But I think the craziest thing about this is they're still under their season average for points at 77.
And that's just a testament to how great this team is defensively. Will Rich leaves it behind for Albert, and he finishes. Zach Albert gets on the board, 72-33.
You look at this game, and Olympus offense has looked almost unstoppable, but they're still under their average. This maybe is a below-average offensive night, if you can believe that.
Lister drives on Collier inside, gets him in the air, and draws the foul.
They lead the state, Olympus does, in points per game. The second closest is at, I believe, 73 points per game.
And what does Olympus average?
77.7.
Free throw up and good for Lister. Just an incredible offensive team. And it sometimes overshadows their great defense.
And they allow under 50 points a game defensively.
Doing it again here tonight. allowing under 40 through 4 quarters. Will Rich slings over to McCain. Back to Rich, right wing. Trying to get it into Collier. He does. Layup, no. Yes! Colin Collier gets it to go. The hard bank goes down for Cohen. Lucas McCain pushes it up for the Titans off the miss. Collier goes up, layup won't go. The 7-footer. Team wanted him to throw it down.
And Collier's not a bad player. He doesn't start, and he gets in at the end of most games, but he's 7 foot, he can shoot, and really any 7-footer in high school on a normal roster will be getting play time. And so just incredible at how talented and how much depth this team has. Be able to have a player like him that gets about 5 minutes a game.
And you look at this lineup the Titans have on the floor right now. This could be a starting lineup at maybe any other high school in the state, you know.
At Park City.
Yeah, at Park City, this would be the starting lineup. Both free throws good.
One of the reasons I wish we could see maybe this year how well they would have done had they played those 6A teams.
Collier, 3 on the way. Knock it down! Cohen Collier! "13 triples for the Olympus Titans. Lister, pull up 3, air ball, not even close. The throw-in pass, great save from Gordon, and he goes up and lays it in.
You can just sort of look at the Park City bench and just tell us how this game went. It'll tell the whole story.
Will Rich, 3 on the way. No good, rims out.
Will Rich would have gone to double figures with that 3.
3 on the way. Knocks it down, Wyatt Leaf. Just under 30 seconds to play here. Seth Burton, open triple on the way. He's got it. 14 triples for the Titans. Can they miss?
Well, I was just talking about how they were under their season average, and with that 3, they're now over it. They can score the ball so fast, even their bench here scoring the ball.
Collier picks up the foul, and Lister will shoot 2 at the line.
That's one thing I really like about high school basketball is the effort will never end until the buzzer. You'll see when the bench players come in, this is their chance to shine. They go 100%. The score keeps going up, and it isn't really just the game's over after the 3rd quarter. They keep going to the very end, which I like so much about high school basketball.
80-44. Titans lead big. And Will Rich will dribble it out. Olympus stays perfect in region play and improved to 16-1 overall as a team. You just watched the best team in 5A play another dominating game. Jack, what did you see from the Olympus Titans tonight and your final thoughts?
Well, I think the Titans, the team as a whole, they scored the ball well. They had 0 players over 20, but 3 players in double figures with Luke Lowe at 9 and Will Rich at 7. So the whole team scored well. Defensively, they couldn't have played much better. The one knock on their game was rebounding, but in the end, it did not matter. They won by 36 total points.
My final thoughts on tonight's game. Normally, we see 1 or 2 of the big 3 dominate, and that's how Olympus wins these basketball games. But tonight, all of them came in, gave it their all, maybe didn't have a 30-point night, but they all played well, and they opened up the offense for everyone on the team, and this team looked very dangerous tonight, where you match them up with those 6A teams, and I'm picking Olympus to come out on top. We thank you for watching.
Each player contributed.
We thank you for watching tonight's broadcast. Our next broadcast will be next Tuesday when the Olympus Titans take on the Highland Rams here at home. Tip-off will be at 7. Make sure to tune in 15 minutes earlier to hear our pregame analysis. So for tonight, I'm Mark Schwartz.
And Jackson Bodley.
And you've been watching Olympus basketball on OlyTV. Have a great night.